Georgia has been a magnet for Korean investment, notably Kia with its $1 billion plant, but other conglomerates from Korea have put plants from their units here in Georgia to serve North America and other markets. I was wondering, you spoke a little bit about investment between the two countries and how that would be affected by the FTA if it were approved. I was wondering if you could, do you foresee more Korean investment in the U.S. as a result of this agreement?
Definitely. Free trade agreements is actually aimed at enhancing the free flow of goods and services and capital between the two countries. Already from 2006, Korean private investors are investing more than American private investors are investing in Korea. So in 2008, Koreans are investing $6 billion, while U.S. investors are investing $1.3 billion. And last year, in the midst of a great recession, Koreans are investing in the United States in the amount of $4 billion, while U.S. investors are investing in Korea $1.5 billion. So Korean investors are searching for the most appropriate places for their investments. So these free trade agreements will enhance that trends, and already Georgia was successful in attracting such a wonderful and capable and distinguished company like Kia. And that means overall business environment in Georgia is good, and parts suppliers are also coming into Georgia. So I hope that Georgia will be quite an appropriate place for Korean investors to come.
We've heard a lot about automobiles and beef as the major sticking points in the issue, but in your remarks you addressed some of the other sectors that would be positively affected by the agreement. I was wondering if you could outline those, or a few of those.
Now, all sectors now will be positively affected by this agreement, including autos and beef. Beef industry also issued statement of support, and automobile industry also issued a statement of support, because this year U.S. beef export into Korea increased by 120% in quantity and 180% in values. So there's a very, very handsome trend of rapid increase of U.S. export into the United States. So the shares out of total imports, U.S. share is now increasing from 24% last year into 37%. So I think overall trade of beef is very, very good. So beef industry do not want to disturb this trend. That's why they announced and made public the statement of support for this.
What are the prospects for passage of the agreement in Korea and some of the legislative hurdles?
Of course, there are always, should be some discussions, some debates, and so on. But in overall terms, I think Korean people and Korean member of National Assembly will understand the great importance of these agreements in terms of economic benefits, but also of strategic values these agreements actually brings about. And this is very good for U.S. and Korea alliance and more enhanced U.S. engagements in Asia. And this agreement is a real signal for U.S. to be engaged in Northeast Asia. So I think all that kind of good merits of these agreements will be understood by Korean members of National Assembly and Korean people.
I remember one of my first my first interviews 3 years ago was your predecessor speaking on this issue in Atlanta. Was the fact that this took this long to renegotiate this agreement, was that ever perceived in Korea as less support for the alliance?
Well, Koreans know that there are some political problems here. Automobile industry has been objecting against these agreements, and they have a strong labor union, and members of Congress are worrying about this phenomenon. But now it's done last Friday, so I think they will be on the right track.
You mentioned this is more than just a bilateral agreement for Korea, it's something that's going to change the fabric of your economic institutions. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
First of all, it'll really increase the competitive structure in Korea, and it'll enhance the transparency, and it'll really improve our economic system of economic policy decision making by engaging more stakeholders in a transparent way, and there will be more times for stakeholders to review any new proposal of policy changes, and some time will be guaranteed for reviewing any policy effects of any kind of policy that will be suggested and proposed by government. So the overall policymaking process and transparency of the economy will be greatly enhanced, which is the prerequisite for becoming a modern and the most sophisticated economy in the world.